So, this thing keeps happening, guys. We see it goes quiet, and then bang. Someone loses their life because of a love story gone wrong, because of a love triangle, because of a disagreement. But guys, it's too much, man.
Wokabi, my thoughts are this. First of all, condolences to the family. It's horrible. It's surreal. I remember even the time for Tirop. It felt so surreal. It felt like a bad dream. But we clearly have a very, 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 very big problem when it comes to gender-based violence, especially amongst Kenyan women athletes. We have to accept it. This is something that we never really sat down and pointed it like this directly and said, "Tuna shida kwa hii." As much as this, yes, it's a high-profile athlete. What about those non-high-profile athletes who are suffering? Because we know it happens, unfortunately. I can't go into the nuances and intrigues, but we all know that there's a very, 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 very big problem about GBV.
It's the frequency for me. It's the frequency. It's Tirop. It's Damaris. It's the other chick who's called Edith. It's the frequency. And then it's the, I know there is emotions run over. Okay, like we are human beings. Mm-hmm. We are messy, especially you have a temper. Emotions could run. But guys, there is no way it can be emotions ran over and anger overcame you, became too much, you saw red mist. So you doused someone with petrol. That's not emotion that showed up. Mm-hmm. You get my point? Mm. That's premeditated.
Absolutely.
I can understand Hasira. You know what takes you to manslaughter? Mm. You can say, no, this is you don't Bernard. See Maji, see paraffin.
It's very vindictive.
It's someone was like, it's either this or this. That
and if you look at it keenly, there's usually a pattern of abuse preceding such an unfortunate situation. And that's why I'm saying there is a problem, a big problem that has not been ile tujesema kimasu. Unajua wazi tuseme yenyewe there's this problem because Wokabi, and I'm going back to my point. How many cases are there that have not been publicized? If you think about it, it is just kept under wraps. Somebody decides to try and solve whatever the issue was in their own way instead of actually making a lot of noise and saying
local solution.
Yes, that's what the word I was trying to look for, which is unfortunate because these are things that are happening.
Sammy,
I do agree with you on the fact that some of them are, or most of them are premeditated, because even in this case there is that entire storyline of even how he hid in a chicken house and did everything once the kids were not around. So even in the thought of actually buying petrol, then you can clearly see that that's something that he had thought about. And the same case happens with the Tirop one, because I was reading a story on CNN, and the brother was giving the story that this is a lady who was reporting and saying that we have issues, we have arguments, she's coming back home, she's going to the camp and then returning in. So definitely those things, they happen and they know about them, but they keep silent.
How does it get stopped? What's the solution? What's the not solution? How do you curtail it? How do you make sure our ladies are safe?
I don't know how this sounds, but it feels like it's a cultural issue for me. Now most of them are coming from this culture of I am the man and I am the one who says everything and I should be the breadwinner. And most of them, those cases, they have involved money, material, wealth. And so I feel like there is a certain way that women feel like I should submit to this guy in this particular way, and it's coming to ruin them. So I feel like the solution is education. educating them and letting them know that actually it's good for a woman to have wealth, it's good for a woman to have education, and it's good for me not to exist in a place where I'm being abused.
And maybe it's good to speak up. But also, as a country, as a society, Bernard, don't we have a duty of making them believe and know it's okay to speak up, and that we will not judge you for speaking up?
I agree. It's a very emotive subject, and for obvious reasons. I think just from what Sammy has said, that's one, unfortunately, cause, or it creates that environment for that to thrive as it has for so many years, unfortunately. Speaking up, obviously, is also important, but also remember, a lot of these athletes come from very conservative communities. So for them, and it boils back down to what he says, that cultural element, because you feel like I'm not able to say X because I'll be perceived in a certain way in society. I think what needs to happen is the powers that be need to create an environment where athletes can comfortably speak out when they feel that things are going wrong. And even over and above them being able to speak out, there needs to be systems that ensure that the moment this has been identified, it is addressed with immediate effect, following the procedure that is required. Whether it is legal, whether it is psychological, whether it is counseling, all those levels must be addressed, because Wokabi, there's no one fix all solution for this, because it's a myriad of factors. Because also remember, what happened is criminal. That's a criminal. Bottom line, that's a criminal. You're forgetting there's also the issue of an athlete who was stabbed. Remember the Ugandan, the other Ugandan who was stabbed. It's a criminal thing. Bottom line, let's look at it in that lens as well. It's criminal. So what we need to understand is, with such great responsibility, with such great attention, with the nature of professional sports, we need to understand that it also attracts some very strange characters and strange personalities. Because, Wokabi, we forget that these athletes are not your common man.
No.
Not at all.
Yeah.
They walk into a room, they walk into an establishment, they're immediately recognized. They're I think the only individuals in society, aside from the discipline forces, who wear the flag more like they have the flag on their clothing more than anyone else. If I'm not wrong, you get what I mean?
Yes.
So that prestige comes with its own pitfalls, unfortunately, because you find that certain individuals who, as you were saying, take advantage. It's just funny individuals. But bottom line is this, Wokabi. We must call a spade a spade. We must say, look, we have this problem. This is how it is. This is how bad it is. And if this is how bad it is, this is how we address it. And it's not one fix all solution. This is something we have to be it has to be very progressive, because we have to unlearn a lot of things. Because you see, for example, Wokabi, I know I'm not trying to draw parallels. For example, if you've covered athletics for many years, when athletes used to make money, when it started becoming lucrative, for many of them, the natural way was to quickly go and buy land, buy house and stuff like that, because that's for them, that is what wealth. But you see now, as time has gone by, you're seeing they're being given other options. You can invest in the money market. You can invest in this. You can invest. So it is a component of athletics that some things have to be unlearned completely. I'm not trying to draw parallels. I know they're two totally different things. What I'm trying to say is there's a lot of reconditioning that has to happen, especially amongst male athletes.